All right, so let's build a image drop zone component that we can just take it, plop it anywhere we want, and just handle the file images once and for all. All right, so let's get started first. And the first thing we need is, I'm gonna close this, and we need a React drop zone like that. All right, so React drop zone, this thing is awesome. So I'm gonna copy this and we will come back here and install this. Cool, so that's one thing. Then the other thing we need is Firebase, and we're gonna install that. Cool, so that's that. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to Firebase and we're gonna create a bucket. So let's go there. So let's go to, so if you're not logged in, just log in. Then I'm gonna go to console. We're gonna add a project, and let's say easy rental YT. Then we're gonna continue, and I'm not gonna do any crash test or all that. Continue. All right. Um, so you're going to build, and then we need storage, right? That's what we need. And then we're gonna do get started. And let's go in test mode, because in test mode we can easily, well, I mean, we're testing, so that's what makes sense. So I'm gonna hit next. Yeah, so basically it's asked for location. You cannot change it. We're just gonna say done. All right, so that creates our bucket. That's our bucket basically. So now we need to actually go and get the client, I mean the Firebase ID and all that. So we're gonna go to project settings, and we need the API key and all that. So usually when if you come here and see how I have this the web, so when I click the web, I'm gonna say easy rental YT, and I'm gonna say register app. Okay, so it tells you basically that's the command you want to enter and install Firebase. So we've already done that. And then what we need is this config. So I'm going to take all of this and I'm going to copy it. Then we're going to come back here, and under the lib is, yeah, so let's minimize this. And under the lib, we're going to create a new file, and I'm going to call it Firebase .ts like that, and I'm going to paste this here. So usually this runs on the client side, so for testing that's okay. So for production, a lot of people say, well, the API key and it's going to be exposed and blah blah blah. Well, usually when you go in production you can limit. So I'm going to continue to console and I'll show you guys. So basically what you have is something. You're going to have, of course, users that you can use to control access to who can access this. And then the other thing is basically if I go to storage and if you go to rules, so in here, of course, your website will be hosted on, let's say, somewhere. So you can restrict the access just from your website. So it's not like somebody's going to take your API key and they can just use it. So if you want to read more, here's more. Basically, you can read, but you can always then also create a user specifically just to have access to this. Then use that user to write data to the Firebase bucket. So there's a lot of ways you can restrict that. So anyways, I just want to bring this up so that it's out of the way. So now this is our bucket, and then we're gonna now use that to get the image thing going. So we install the React Dropzone, then we configured Firebase, and now we're gonna get started and building everything. So what I like to do is I'm gonna copy all this, and then I'm gonna go to my env file, and then I'm gonna come here. I'll say Firebase, and then what I will do is I'll say next public underscore Firebase API. Actually, let me paste these here. Then what I can do, API key. I'm gonna cut this and I'm gonna paste this here, and we're gonna do equal. You don't need the quotes. So let me expand this. All right, so I'm gonna quickly type these and then you guys can watch. All right, so now that we have these, then I can come here and we can just say API key is this. So we'll say process.env. Then we can come here and we can say const app equals get apps. Okay, so that's coming from Firebase. Now, of course, it's not gonna bring it up, so I'm gonna minimize this, and we can do import get apps. And the other thing I want to bring is initialize app, and this is coming from Firebase app, like that. So we're gonna do get apps. Okay, that length. Basically what we're saying is if we already have an app, then basically you initialize the app with the Firebase config. So if we don't have an app, initialize it. Otherwise, just give us the existing one. So get apps, the first one, like that. And then we need to then get storage, like that. And we say get storage. Now, of course, not going to bring it, so we're going to do import. We're going to do get storage and ref, and that's coming from Firebase storage. Cool. All right, so we're going to do get storage, and storage for which app? The app we just created. And then finally, we only export the reference to the storage. So we do like this. Okay, and so basically a reference is an item to in your bucket, right? So we need to pass it a token, which will be a string. Okay, and then I can do ref that we just got, and so ref for which storage, this one, and for which token, this token. So people only need to, outside of this, they only need to care about this. So that's that. So I'm going to close this. I'm going to close this. We are done with this. All right. So now what we can do is come to, let's just close everything. And then under components, we're going to create a new file, and we're going to call it image dropzone.tsx, like that. All right, so starting from the start, we're gonna do image drop zone, like that. And so what we should do is, if I come here, maybe I should drop one here so we can see it in action. Let me just do this so I have more space. Cool. All right, so for example, I can come here to, let's say, my listings under edit, and then the item edit form. I think I can put one here. So right above, I don't know if we added a comment. No, we didn't. Yeah, okay, anyways. So what I can do is say photos. Okay, and in here, then I can do image drop zone like that. So let's see. Refresh. There you go. So image drop zone is here. Okay. So what we can do then is I can go back here and let's start chopping this thing. So what we can do, we can create a div. Okay. And we need a nice kind of drop zone. So that's what we're trying to do here. And let's give it a class name of grid. Okay. And with a gap of 2. Now we're gonna try to cater for different screen sizes. So that's what we're gonna try to do here. So we can say grid columns. Okay, so basically for mobile, we just show one in one column, and then I'm gonna do repeat. Okay, and one FR like that. And let's just do for different screen sizes. So for small and above, I'm going to do 2. And then for, let's do for large and above, we're just gonna do 3. Actually this should be 2. Cool, so that'll take care of that for us. Now let's create the drop zone. So what I can do, I can say div. All right, and then what I will do on this one is I'll just give it a couple of class names. Let me close this. All right, so what we do is we say text dash center. That's 1, padding dash 2. Okay, I'm gonna give it a cursor of pointer, border, whoop, dash 2, dash 2, save. There you go. And then border dashed like that. So there you go, that's dashed. And then border, I'm gonna do slate 200. So it's light. Okay, and then what we need is an input. Now what do we put in this input? So this is where we're going to use the React drop zone. So we're going to come here, and this one should be a use client before it cries. All right, so I'm going to come here and I'm going to do const, and we should do get root props, okay, and get input props like that. And then we're going to use drop zone. Come on, me, why is it not bringing it? All right, I'm going to come here and we're going to bring it. So we do import use drop zone from React drop zone like that. Cool. Yeah, so okay, so we're getting this. It showed why. Oh, okay, sorry, with the small z. Okay, so we got the React drop zone, and we're gonna accept the kind of stuff that we want to accept. So of course, gonna be images, image, and we're gonna accept only images. That's it. Okay, and then also on drop. So what's on drop? So there are these callback functions that you need to specify, and like basically what happened on an image is drop, right? So we need to come here and we need to define that. So what we can do, we can say const on drop. Okay, and we're going to use the use callback from React. We don't, so that we don't recreate it. So the async, and it's gonna get the accepted files. Okay, and this is of type file, an array basically. And then we are gonna come here and just initialize with empty array. All right, so that takes care of that. So we're gonna get to this later on. But first, what we need to do now, we need to get root, get input props like that. And on this div, I need to do get root props like that. Cool. All right, so looks like, yeah, the input has not been closed. So I'm gonna close that. So let's save it. All right, so then we come here and we create another div. I'm gonna create a class of flex and flex of column. Okay, and items center, justify center, text of extra small, and text dash gray dash 400. Cool. So, man, I hate this minimum screen size. Okay, so with that done, what I want to do is from Lucid, they have a nice upload cloud icon. So I'm gonna plop that here. So let's see how that looks. There you go. Something is coming up. I think what we can do is give it a class name. I'm gonna give it a margin bottom of 8. So there you go, nice. And let's just give it a width of I don't know, 8 and height of 8, like that. And then what we can do also is I'm gonna put some text to help people. So we can say drag and how about that and ampersand drop to upload. Beautiful. So that's coming. I think that's a bit too much. Should give maybe 4. Yeah, that's better. All right. So that's that. And then finally, we're just gonna create another div. And in this one, let's just create a button. Okay. That's coming from UI button. And let's just say select. All right, because that's not what we want. We want to keep this very simple. So first, I'm gonna do a type of button, and let's just give it a variant of ghost. Let's see how that looks. This is exactly what I want. Cool, looking very good actually. And then what we can do is, I think we're done. So this one is let's just call this upload box. Yeah, so that looks good. Cool. All right, so when an image is dropped, it goes to certain states. I mean, initially when you drop it, it's gonna get uploaded. There's a progress, and then finally gets uploaded. So we need a way to track all of that. So the way we're gonna do this is I'm gonna create a type, and we're gonna call it upload interface. Okay, like so. All right, so it's gonna have a file or no file. And there's a reason why I'm doing this, which I'll explain later. Then when a file is uploaded, let's say to wherever server, we need to get a URL. So that's a string. Should be a string. I'm gonna just keep this like this. Okay, and then the file, there's gonna be a file name with every file. And finally, there's a state, right? So initially it goes into pending, and then finally it goes into complete. I think you can also add like an error in case something wonky happens. So that's that. So then what we can do is we can come here and we can say create a state, and we can say image state, set image state. So these are actually the image states that we go through, and it's going to be use state like that. And this will be of type upload interface. And basically, if you have an array of images, and it's going to be blank initially, right? Because we're doing multi-file upload. So I'm going to call this on file drop so we know what's going on. Then we also, when an image is being uploaded, so we need to track that. And I'm going to do set uploading, and let's just say use state. So initially we're not doing any uploading, so that's that. Okay, And then also we need to keep track of any errors. So I'm going to say error, set error. We're trying to be complete here, people. So it's going to be a state, and it's just going to be a string or a null. Okay, and initially it's just going to be null. So that's that. All right, one thing I will do is I think what we should do is this should be disabled if we are uploading. So I don't want people to keep hitting this while we're uploading. So that will take care of that. Cool. All right, so now we're gonna come here and then we're gonna basically say image states.map. Okay, it's gonna take an image and an index like so. So we run through the states that the image is gonna go. So let's say complete, pending, blah blah blah, error, and then we just kind of change the UI based on that. All right, so I'm gonna create a div. The key will be index. We could use the image name, but we will just go with the class name. Cool. All right, so what we do here is I'm gonna have a border of 0, padding of 0, width of full, relative, shadow of MD, and background of slate 200, and rounded. What? Okay, let's go to next line. This is getting longer already. Rounded dash MD aspect dash square. Okay, and height of full. Okay, so that will actually, the image will display the image like that. And then what we do is in this one, I'll say image dot state complete. So let's say the image got uploaded, then basically I'm going to do an image. It's going to be from next image. I'm going to do fill, so we don't have to do the width height. Key will be index, and source. Actually, for this one I don't need the key because I already have it here. All right, so source will be image dot download URL. There you go, that's why we have that. And let me do this. It's complaining because we need that alt thingy, so we're gonna do that. We're gonna say alt. Okay, and then I'm just gonna do something like listing photo, and let's just do index plus 1. Okay, like that. And then what we can do is also let's do sizes. Okay, and max width of 768 pixel. Okay, and 100 VW. So the size is just to make it look appear nicer. I mean, let's say you're watching this on a cell phone, you want to see the full size, or on a browser, you don't need to see the full size. So we're just gonna make it more efficient. And then here I can do max width, okay, of 1200 pixel. This is for 50 VW, and if none of this, basically if the screen is not this or not that, then you just go with 33 VW, which is the default. So that's that. And then finally I'm going to do a class name, and height of full, width of full, rounded, just give it nice rounded edges, and cover, make it a cover, so it just covers everything. Okay, it looks like we have error. Oh, because we have the ternary thingy, so we need to finish it off. So if the image is not complete, then we show a skeleton. Now what the heck is a skeleton? Well, we're gonna go to ShatCN, and if I go skeleton, so this is what we're gonna show. So just tell people, you know, something's happening. Cool. So I'm gonna come here and we're gonna install this, and I'm gonna copy the skeleton, close, come to the top, whoop, install. All right, so I can do skeleton, and with a class name, Okay, height dash full and width dash full. Let's save it, and nothing will happen because we haven't uploaded any images yet. Oh, let's just click this, see if it works. Oh, there you go. So that comes up, which is very cool. Okay, then we're gonna come here, and when we are uploading the image, okay, which is that state when, let's say, you upload an image, and image, we're gonna start state is equal to pending. Okay, and then what we do is we do basically have a class absolute. Okay, and then this will be actually a loader. This is the one that we created. So when we are actually when we upload the image and it's still in the pending state, then we basically just show a loader. Now this is absolute because we want to just show it in the on the image itself. So top of 0, left of 0, flex, height dash full, width dash full, items dash center, and finally we're going to do justify center, and then rounded dash MD, and BG dash black, and BG dash opacity of 70. Cool. All right, let's what happened there? I think it went somewhere else. Let's see. Yeah, that's what I want to do. So that will actually just show a nice loader. And what I can do is I can just mark this. So I can say loader, spinner, whatever. And then finally here we need the delete button. So let's say you upload an image, you don't like it, you should be able to delete it. And that's what that is for. So let's create a div, and we're going to create a group and absolute, and right. So it's going to be in the top right corner and top dash 0 like that. And actually what we can do then is create another div, and then height of 4, width dash 4. I mean, this worked well for me, so that's why I'm doing this. Cursor dash pointer, items dash center, just to nice and center it. Justify dash center. Cool. So what's going to be here? X. So this X comes from Lucid React, just an icon. And just give it a class name, BG red 500. Okay. And text dash white, and rounded dash, so it's going to be like a circle. That's what it is. All right, and I think I'm just gonna give it a width of 16 and a height of 16, nice and square. All right, so now what also we need is we need to handle the delete action, right? So currently we have a button, but let's see, it's not doing anything. So if I come here, I have this div, and sorry, for this one, I'm gonna bring this on the next line, and then I'm gonna bring this here, and then I can do on click, I can do this. Okay, and then what we need to do is first, I need to get access to the E, which is the event. So we're gonna do the prevent from doing the default thing, and then what I will do is we're gonna create one or internal handler for this. So I'm gonna say handle delete, and we're gonna pass it the URL of the image because the URL is stored on Firebase. So it's gonna go ahead and delete it from there. All right, so oh yes, we need to create that. So let's do that. All right, so this is going to be a simple one. All we do is we say underscore handle delete. Okay, and it's going to take a photo URL. It's going to be a string. And what we do is, first of all, we say ref equal to storage ref. That's from Firebase. And we need to give it that token, which is going to be photo URL. And then we do await delete object. So that's coming from Firebase. And we're just going to provide the reference. So now it's going to say what async await. That'll take care of that. And then now what we need to do is we need to update our state because we have deleted the image. So what we can do, we can say const new state is equal to image states dot filter. So we find the image by the download URL, state that, because that's going to be unique, download URL and does not equal to photo URL. So basically just give us the images, actually filter the images and give us the one, all the images that does not have this one basically. And then finally we update our local state and we say new state like that. So that actually, so what this will do is this will remove the images from this local component, but now we also need to notify the outside component, like whoever's hosting this, that things are happening. So let's take care of that. So we need to pass in input props, and the way we can do this is I can come here, I can say interface input props. All right, and then we need to first, when files are added, we need to notify the outside people. So I can say file added. Okay, we're gonna make it optional and it's gonna be added files. Okay, like that. And it's basically just a string. So these are just the download URLs, and it's gonna be a promise. So that's one. And then also we need to then do for delete when a file is removed, and you just need to say URL. So the reason why we need this is so you can update the database. So because we're already removing it from the Firebase here, but let's say you're storing this in your database, so you also need to be notified so you can clean that up. That's why we are doing this. And then finally the photos. Now why are we doing this? I'll just explain. So let's say I'm putting this, let's say here I'm in the edit and I already have images, so we should be able to pass those images in, and then we should be able to show them here, right? So that's what that is. Okay, so then what I can do here on my props, I can take and paste this, and of course we're just gonna get rid of this, comma, get rid of this, comma, and this, and then this will be of type input props. Cool. So then what we can do on delete is we can say on file dot, and you call it with the photo URL there. So that should basically take care of file deletions. And I think, if I'm not mistaken at this point, if I'm not mistaken, we should be able to now upload images. I mean, they're not going to get attached to the item yet, but we should be able to upload them and they should appear in Firebase. Actually, no, they won't appear in Firebase because we haven't done the main function, the Dropzone. So yeah, that's going to be a good one. So what we are going to do before I go ahead and get too excited is, let's see. I think we should be able to display some errors. So I'm going to mark this and say error. All right, so basically if we have an error, then what I will do, I'm going to say error, right? So any error message, and I will just say text dash red dash 500, and let's just do font dodge bold. Cool. I think we have this alert thingy from Shatsian. I don't know if we should maybe show it like this. Just leave it for now. We'll get back to it. All right, so let's get to the meat of this thing, which is going to be this, like how do we handle multiple file upload at the same time? Okay, so starting first, let's say you get here, we're going to set the uploading to true. That means we are uploading. That's number one. Nullify, well, reset the error. That's what we do here. And then let's create const promises. Okay, and this is going to be of type promise. Upload interface, an array of basically that, and initially we do that. So what we do is for every file, basically the idea is you create a promise and then you wait for all of them to finish and then you can continue. So let's go into a try catch first to catch any errors, and I'm gonna be nice and just log them to the console like that. And since we have the set error, so what I can do, I can just say error dot massage, and what I will do for this error, let's just make it any, so the error could come from anyone. And let's, before I forget, finally, I'm going to add a finally, and this is where we're going to set uploading to false. Otherwise, you will not be able to upload more images. So that's why we need to do that. All right, so I'm going to save that. Whew, here we go. So what I can do is I can say const added files is equal to accepted files dot go through the files basically, and each file is of this type, the upload interface. Then we're gonna get the file, and then what we are gonna do is we're just gonna get the file. Now the download URL is just gonna be blank for now. Now file name, so we're gonna give it a file name, and this is going to be basically a math.random, okay, .toString, and then we're gonna generate like a 36. That's the radix basically, right? So you define the radix, and then I'm going to do slice, okay, and take from 2 to 10, okay, and then to this I'm going to basically append something, right? So I'm going to do underscore, and then I'm going to date dot now. So I'm going to append the date like that, and then finally we need the extension too. So I'm going to do file dot name. Okay, actually I could have just done this like this. I don't know why I'm doing it like this. Let me just finish this state. So initially we just go into pending like that. All right, so right here then I'm going to do dot, and then what I will do is I'm going to do file dot name dot split, okay, and then we are going to split by the period and then pop. So this is gonna give us the extension of the file. So let me put this on next line, and let's put this on next line. So there you go. So basically we just have a hash underscore the date and then followed by the extension. Cool. So that's the initial basically state of the files, as you can say. Then what I will do is I'm gonna set the update our local state to kind of prep it for what's coming, and I'm going to see previous images, okay, and I'm going to do previous images. So just do the just add it to the array, and I'm going to say added files, right? So that's that, and then finally we're going to go through added files.map, okay, and we're going to do async file, okay, we're going to come here, and then we're going to start pumping these promises. Whoa. So I'm going to say promises, okay, dot push a promise and create a new promise, okay. It's going to be a lot of promises, people. Okay, I'm going to do async resolve, okay, And then what we will do is I'm going to do const file ref, okay, is equal to storage ref, create that. And what we will do is we will say file, well, I don't actually, yeah, it's a strings. No, I can just do it like this, file name, like that. And then what we can do is wait for upload. Okay, so I'm going to do await and upload bytes. So this is coming from Firebase to us. So I'm going to do file ref like that, and file, and this is a file like that. So that will basically upload it to Firebase, and when this is done, then we can say download URL is equal to await get download URL, and then for what? For this file ref, the one that just got uploaded. And then finally you need to call the resolve, otherwise this promise will never finish. So we're going to do file.file, file name is going to be file.filename like that, and then state is going to be file.state, so that's the file state. And then finally download URL is download URL like that. Whew, so that takes care of that. All right, what's going on here? Any, because it does not have blah blah blah. Okay, okay, so here then after we're gonna say wait for all promises to finish. Okay, so that will basically, we're gonna wait here. So I'm gonna do const result is equal to await promise dot all, right? So this basically will wait for all the promises to finish. So promises, sorry, it's all caps, not, I mean caps. So it'll wait for this, all means wait for all the promises to finish. And then at this point I'm going to initiate a URL string array, and initially it's going to be empty. All right, and then we're going to go through the result. We need to now do something with it, and we're going to do map. So for each file, okay, so URLs dot push file dot download URL. So we store the download URL, and then finally update the image state. Okay, and then I'm going to do image state, and we say const new files is equal to, I'm gonna make a clone of the current state. Okay, so I'm gonna do image, actually it should be image states, so I'm gonna say image states. Okay, and then const image state for each individual state, new file states. Okay, actually this should be new file states. Okay, so this should be new file states dot find, okay, image, find the image, where image dot file name is equal to f dot file name. Okay, so that's that. And if image state, if we found the image, why is it complaining here? All right, so it's complaining here. Let's just go complete the thing. It usually goes away. I don't know why. Sometime VS Code has its own day. Then I'm gonna do image state dot download URL is equal to f dot download URL, and image state dot state, we're gonna mark it as complete. Wow, complete. And then finally, what you want to do, you want to return the new file states. Okay, so let me just explain what's going on. So we did the promises where we're uploading each file to the Firebase or wherever it is. So initially we set it to pending. As each file gets uploaded, we get the download URL and the file, basically the binary data, and we call resolve. Then we wait for all these files to finish. Then we go through, and then we basically get the download URL, push it to the URL, and then we update our local state, and then we basically make a copy. So that's what structured clone does, creates a deep clone of an object, and we make a copy of the state, and then we find the so remember, we created a state here, right? So we need to now update the download URL, and we need to set this to complete. So that's why we're trying to find the image by the file name. As you can see, we create these file names here. So that's how we track them. You could create IDs, but I'm just doing it by file names. And then we go mark it as complete, update the download URL, and you need to do this so it will basically return a new state. And that's how you basically do this. And finally, call the caller or the whoever host. Then we're gonna do await on files added dot call it on the URLs, because that's what the end result will be, right? So if I have this item, I know which item it is. I just need to get the URLs of the files. So, all right, I need a water break. Cool. So with this done, I think we should be able to upload some images, and let me just refresh and see them in our bucket. So let's go ahead. I'm going to select this, select this, select this. 3 images, go open. Cool, we got error. All right, so first, as you can see, this is coming nice. That's the loading thing. Of course, it doesn't work on the first shot, right? Okay, Firebase storage, unknown error code. Please check the error payload for server response, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that doesn't help. Okay. Actually, we are spitting the error out. We're not. Okay, so it's stuck in the loading stage. Let's see what's going on. Firebase storage, an unknown error occurred. Please check the error payload for server response. Let me just see if it actually made it to the server. No, so that's good. So the files are not there, which is good. So as you can see, by the way, this, let's fix this. You see how it's like kind of so close. I would like to move it a little bit. So that's the delete or the X button. I think it's this one. So can I do minus translate X dash 5 or 4? There you go. And I'm gonna do minus translate Y dash 4. Yeah, this should be positive because Y goes positive in the downward direction. All right, so that's not bad. That's a little bit too much. So 2 and 2 would be good. Cool, I like this. Okay, so we just fixed one thing, but looks like, let's go to console. And we're gonna fix this together. Okay. Firebase storage.google.jpg. What the heck is this? Oh, actually, it returned us a download URL. Okay, that's not bad. Oh, you know what? Something's wrong with the file name, I think. Look at it. I think probably, let's see. So if I go back up here, okay. You know what I'll do? What I'll do is I'm gonna comment this. Let's just see where is the error coming from? Is it, so yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna save this and let's just give it a second shot. Cool. So I'm gonna come here and let's just select one file and see what happens. All right, so oh yes, okay, so the other thing we need to do is we need to go ahead. It looks like the file I think went through. Let me just see. Yes, the file is here. We just need to add, remember Next.js, you need to add next.config.js. You need to add this line. Yes, yes, yes. All right, so I'm going to copy this. We're going to come here and we're going to go to next.config.js, like here, and we need to add this here. So what you want to do is you want to say images, okay, and I'm going to do formats and image avf, and what's the other one? Just give me them both, and then remote patterns, so basically where they are, and the protocol protocol protocol. Okay, you don't like that? Interesting. HTTPS and then host name. Oh, that's my problem. That is my problem. Host name. There you go. Now it's better. I'm gonna paste that. Cool. There you go. So that takes care of that. Let's refresh. All right, what happened there? Okay, let's try again. So I'm gonna select, we're gonna select the same angle grinder. Okay, okay, there you go. Beautiful. Look, the image is coming. All right, cool, cool. No errors. So I'm going to, what problem we have, I don't like the way it looks right now. I think this should be like coming beside it or something. So we're going to fix that. So anyways, I'm going to close that. So I want to fix two problems. Problem number one is I want to see the time beside it. So let's see, I'm going to close that. All right, so I don't know what's the problem with this, that it is not actually it's not actually doing this part. That's very strange. I don't understand this. So yeah, because if I put this back, then Firebase is complaining basically. There's something funky going on. Let me select again. I'm going to select this. Oh, actually it did work. I don't know what was the problem the first time. And there you go. That's what I'm talking about. So we have the thing and then that. Cool. I like this. All right. Okay, so that fixes that issue. Then the other problem we're having is I don't like the way it looks. It should be, yeah, I don't, that's ugly, man. They should appear like in nice tiles, in a nice tile format. So let's see how can we fix that. So we're done with the drop zone. So I'm gonna close this. I'm gonna close that. Let's see. All right, one thing I realized is that this div right here, it should be here actually. So let me do that, and I think we got an no, we don't have any error. Okay, so let's just fix that. So now let me go, that's mobile view. So when I go desktop, so now when I select images, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. That's how they should appear. And then when we go mobile, pew, pew, pew. Nice. So they come one after the other. Let's go mobile actually. Come here and I'm gonna do this. Oh, okay. Well, it refreshes itself. But anyway, so let's do it on mobile. I'm gonna select. Yeah, that's how it is. And I'm gonna delete. Cool, cool. I like it. Cool. So that is good. I think one thing we could do is I could take this. Let's see, flex, and I'm gonna wrap it so it doesn't overshoot. And let's just give it, gap of say 2. I'm gonna come here to the bottom and I'm gonna do a div. Let's save this so you see nice and square. That's what I wanted. So let's try. If I come here now, let's select. I'm gonna select let's say that many images, open. Oh, okay, so yeah, actually let's see, can we fix this? Let's see, can I just do 4? Does that have any effect? All right, let's see, I'm gonna add one more and we're gonna do Excel and then we're gonna do 4. I think it's because of this. No? Okay, how about I do this? Yeah, just leave it like that. There you go. So that, I think that looks better. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. So now the grid is working. And as we go, cool, I like it. They shrink and behave well. So let me delete these. I don't need these. Delete, 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 and delete. All right. So now what we can do is we can actually use this. I'm gonna just put this back to its original state. I just leave it like that. So now we are done. We're done with the image drop zone, and now we can just take this like how we have done and use it anywhere basically we want. So for this one, I'll just come here and now I'll do on this one flex dash wrap gap dash 2, and let's just come here, put this here. I'm gonna save it. Okay, and then let's add, now we're gonna come here and let's pass in these props. So just to see this thing in action, get values. So now we're gonna get the photos. So we have built this already, the form, and now we're just gonna take care of the rest of it. So I'm gonna do handle file delete. We're gonna add that, and then on file added, it's gonna be handle file add. Cool. So let's add these. So I'm gonna come up here. I'm gonna copy the handle file add. Let's start with this. And then what I can do is I can say const handle file add. Whoop. Okay, and then it's going to be file, actually the handle file upload, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it returns a promise, so we'll take care of that anyways. So what I want to do is I want to say files to upload, get rid of that so I can see what's going on. Upload, okay, it's an array. So these are basically the download URLs. That's what we're trying to do here. And what we will do is we're just going to call the onSubmit function and form dot get values. Okay, like that. So remember, we have this onSubmit function. Also, every time an image is uploaded, we just call this and it goes to the server straight away. So that's what we're trying to do. So we're going to make this async like that. So that'll take care of that. Okay, so what we should do is we're going to do like this const. So let's say we already have photos, so we need to append to that, right? So I'm going to do photos, and then we can do dot 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 form dot get values photos right here, and then I'm going to append the files that we got, and then form dot set value. So we're gonna set the value, and this is gonna be photos. Okay, and it's going to be new photos. So basically, let's say you got photos, you can display them, but let's say you upload new photos, we add them. So that'll just take care of that. Cool. We got an error, that's because of that. So I'm going to do const handle, what is it called? File delete. Okay, and it's going to be async again, and URL. So we delete, let's say, a file. This gets called. All right, so const updated photos is equal to form.get values photos. Okay, dot filter, find it, photo, whoop, and then we're going to do photo does not equal to URL, like that. Okay, and then form dot set, we need to update the form, so we're going to do form dot set value, and it's going to be photos, and that's going to be updated photos. Okay, like that. And finally we just call the onSubmit and form dot get values. Okay, that should clear itself. Yes. All right, so let's recap what happened. So on file add, remember in our drop zone we have these files added, and this gets called with the download URLs every time a file is uploaded. So what we do, we take our existing photos, we append that, then we set this on the form and we submit it to the server. Same thing on delete. We get the URL of the file that we want to delete, gets deleted from Firebase by the component, and then we can just go to our database and do the update. So let's actually test this thing. So as you can see, I'm going to do a refresh. Cool. So this is our items. As you can see, the photos, the photos is currently empty for the Canon camera. I'm going to come back here and just get rid of all these photos that I was playing around with. We're going to say delete. Yes, delete. Cool. So that is done. So let's say I have the camera, and I'm going to come here and I'm going to upload these two for the camera. So I'm going to say open. Okay, and item updated, which is awesome. So let's go to Firebase and let's see. Okay, here's the two files. Let's go to our database. And I'm telling you, man, there you go. Download URLs, they got in. And let's say I go to my listings. I go to the camera, go to edit. Okay, so it's not showing the photos. Let's see, there must be a reason. We probably just are not setting it. So if we go to where we get the item, it's right here, page. So we're seeing item model, find by ID. And okay, so we pass that to the item edit form. It's coming in here to item.photos. Okay, and that should be actually here. Form.getValues photos. Let's do this. Let's come here. I'm going to console log the item. Okay, so we're gonna see what comes out of it. I'm gonna inspect console. Okay, so we have an object, and there you go. So we have the photos, so they are coming through. They're just not being shown here. So if I do a refresh, yeah, something not right with the, so I'm gonna come here. Let's take a look. So we come here to the image drop zone and let's see what's going on here. Yep, so photos is defined and item.photos is what I'm calling it. So let's see. So I want to make sure this is all good. Console item.photos. Okay, item.photos. So that's good. Okay. So let's go to the image drop zone and let's see photos. Oh, we're not using the photos at all. All right, so that's the problem. Okay, so we should fix that. All right, so we're gonna come here and let's basically, so that's the drop zone. I think I'll just come here and I'll do this use effect. Okay. And then I'll basically do photos. If we get photos, okay, and then I'm going to do like this. If photos dot length, okay, if we have photos, basically, then what I will do is I'm going to say P for photo, upload interface, and I'm going to set this to an empty array, and then just go through dot map, and basically I'm going to take a photo, and what we do is basically p dot push. Okay, the only thing we need is the download URL, to be honest with you, because it's already on the server, so we just need to get the URL so we can show it. And so that's photo, and then the state will be complete. Okay, and file name, we don't need it, so that's it. Okay, and let's save it. I'm gonna close that, see if that works. All right, so let's do a refresh. Okay, let's come here and just do console.log photos like that. I'm gonna save it. I was actually also spitting it out here. I think I'm gonna delete this one. I'm gonna save it. Let's go to here. I'm gonna go to my listings. Canon camera. Let's see if console. Okay, so array, I got 2. Okay, that's not bad. So it is coming. And then if I go to the drop zone, so this was getting printed. Let's see what happened. Photos.map p. Okay, so but what? Oh, we're not doing anything with the p. We should do something with the p. So I can just do set image state p. Okay, I don't need this. Close this. Oh my God, look at this. They're coming through. Okay, so I can delete and I can delete. Cool. If I come here, gone. All right, so now let's go to my listings and say I have this vacuum. I'm gonna go edit. I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna find a vacuum. I had a vacuum. There we go. I got a vacuum just for this. So let's save it. I'm going to change the price. So let's see, we update this. I'm going to hit save. Cool. Item updated. Go back to my listings. Come back. Cool. All right. So what if I upload a new one? Just let's say I upload this one. Okay, that's there. I'm going to go my listings. Come back. Cool. So awesome. Now we are actually able to store images, update them, delete them. This is so cool. And the powerful thing about this is that basically we can just take this component now, where did it go, and just put it anywhere we want, and we just need to deal with all these 3 functions. That's it. So we're gonna then move on to the next item.